language in the bill that abortion will not be covered, it was defeated every time. Abortion being provided by this bill is a very, very serious concern I have. And again, no matter where you fall on the abortion end, on the spectrum, I think many who would call themselves pro-choice would still agree that the government should not be paying to provide those abortion services. Anybody else, please? Yes.
Do you think that this is going to be passed?
Let me tell you the good news. The good news is, 2 months ago, I would have told you I think this is going to be passed. People back in July were starting to get upset, starting to get angry. And I said, what's good? I want people to be engaged. And by the way, I don't want anybody to leave this meeting with a sense of anger. Anger is not how we should ever govern. Anger is not how we should discuss these issues. I understand you're angry, and I am too. But I want you leaving here not with anger, but with a vision for how we can change it, how we can address health care in a way that makes it affordable, responsible, and accessible. I want you to leave here with your head up. If you oppose this bill like I do, I want you to leave here with your head up saying, you know what, democracy is going to work. To answer your question, I'm on a rabbit trail. Is that clapping for rabbit trails? Because I'll go on more. 2 months ago, I would have told you that I think it was going to be passed. I think with what we've seen in town hall meetings like this and around the country, and people really standing up and saying, we've had enough, with the spending, with the out-of-control excess, we're pushing your agenda way too quickly. I think the main part, the government plan at least, will be defeated. It's either going to be tabled and addressed when the emotion wears down, or we'll probably have some sort of health bill that passes, but I think the public plan will be defeated. That's my hope. And that's saying a lot for a party that's in the minority all over in Washington, D.C. to be able to just really take the message to people. Let's be careful. And seniors, too. I mean, especially seniors. I'm not a fearmonger. I don't want to stand up here and say, you know, seniors, you need to be very scared. They're going to take everything away from you. I'm not going to do that because I don't think that's another way to govern. I think that's bad. The only thing I'll say about that is if you're on Medicare Advantage, the bill in here specifically states that they're going to take that away from you. And that's, I wrote the number down, 5,800 seniors in the 11th Congressional District that would affect. Maybe some in this room. Sir, and then ma'am.
First of all, let me thank you for your service to your nation.
Thank you for saying something, but thank you for allowing me the opportunity to do it. It's more of an honor for me to do it than it is than you guys can imagine.
That having been said, let me admonish you against using the word crisis anymore. As Rahm Emanuel said, never waste a good crisis. Why? Everything in this nation over the past however many years I've been hearing crisis. The healthcare crisis is another way for a government with an agenda, which they either, at best case scenario, do not understand and do not care what they're doing to the future of this nation. Worst case scenario, they are attempting to wreck this nation. I really don't have a question for you.
That's fine.
But I feel the need to make that statement.
Yeah, I appreciate the input on that. And, you know, the thing I'll say, in my travels around the world and in some combat zones and tough areas, and I've talked to a few veterans here that were in one in Korea and Vietnam, and I know there's many more. I believe democracy works. I really do. I believe we're seeing democracy work right here. This is Princeton, Illinois, and we have probably a bigger turnout than many large towns of 300,000 have had on some of these meetings. That's great. That's democracy in action. I believe in democracy, and I believe you're concerned about your government. I understand it, and I think the answer is going to be in November 2010. And it's going to start today, because the Democrat Party, or those that, I don't want to make this overly partisan, but I want to say those that I think go against what I believe, and my opponent in this race, when they start seeing the energy and excitement coming out now, that really sends a message home. It does. And by the way, I have no idea how Debbie Halverson's going to vote on this issue because she hasn't made a single statement about it. Well, she made a neutral statement. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. And then sir.
I think one of the most effective things that everyone in this room could do is to call Congresswoman Halverson's office. I don't know if you have her number. I have it at home. I don't know if you have it handy. I did call her office to voice my opinion, and I think I invite you all to do the same so that she knows exactly how we feel and what your concern is.
Yeah.
She is having a teleconference, not a town hall meeting, but a teleconference, I believe September 3rd or 4th. If you call, you can register your address and your number so that you can call in to that teleconference and voice your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need to do that rather than sit back and let people who agree with her talk with her over the phone
I would agree
on
with
that
you,
evening.
You know, keep in mind when you register for that, they will have your name and address, and they'll use that.
It's okay, she has it anyway
Yeah,
because I've talked to her in
yeah.
person, so I'm not ashamed for what I believe in.
That's
So.
great. And I agree. We've thought about doing a tele-town hall at some point. We still may. The disadvantage of that, you don't see me, and also we control the questions that are asked. So, but I think if you get the call to do the town hall, give her a piece of your mind. I know, sir.
I kind of got a two-parter. One of the things in that healthcare bill is they're going to provide insurance for illegal immigrants. And I'd like to know your position on that. And the next big push supposedly is going to be immigration.
Yeah. We're actually, by the way, everybody, this is Eric Raymond. He's my campaign manager. He was, for those of you that know Aaron Schock, he was it's good to have him on board when it, you know. We were actually talking about this yesterday, and we said, what's going to happen if they start pushing the immigration issue, which before all this outpour over healthcare started, that was the plan, was to address immigration after the August recess, district work period. And so I don't know. I don't know if they're going to address it or not. I've read the part of the bill. Let me see if I wrote the number, the page down. Do you know what offhand? Okay. It's in here. But basically it talks about non-discrimination in implementing this bill. And that's where people are getting that it's going to cover illegals. It doesn't specifically say illegals, but I can see how that can be interpreted to say anybody that's in the United States is covered by this. That's a concern of mine.
Can I comment?
Sure.
I called Friday.
Can everybody hear? Everybody hear? I'll repeat if you can. Okay.
I called his office a week ago Friday.
Senator Durbin.
Talked to this fellow man there. Of course, he wasn't there. But I asked him about that question specifically. I said, I'm a senior citizen, and I understand they want to take Medicare money and put it toward implementing this health care. And I said, as a taxpayer, I'm going to present that because I don't want my taxpayer money to pay for illegal aliens.
Right.
And he said, well, he said, sir, in this bill, he said, they're not considered illegal aliens. He said, they're documented aliens.
There's your answer.
What's the difference? I said, you're still illegal aliens.
Yeah.
And he said, well, you're right. He said that documented aliens, not aliens.
Did everybody hear that?
No.
What's your name, sir? Dan. Dan said he called Senator Durbin's office to ask that question, and they said, well, basically, they're not illegal immigrants according to this. They're documented aliens, or undocumented. You know.
Yeah.
I share a concern about that.
Yeah.
Right now in the United States, the only people that get free health care are those that aren't here legally. If they walk into an emergency room, and I believe that in a country as great as we are, if somebody walks in the emergency room and has a problem, we need to take care of it. I believe that, and I don't apologize for that because nobody